Alrighty, look at this messy water. Okay, this is full of dandelion root. So I went and dug up a bunch of dandelions yesterday, and normally I keep the leaves. They're so small right now because the dandelion is going dormant, but this is the best time of the year to actually dig up the root. And the roots are starting to grow pretty long, they're established, and I will, you can eat this. This is very good for you. You can add it to your salad. I give it to my bunny because she likes it too. But my biggest goal right now is to get the root, clean these off really good. I'm going to chop them up into small pieces and then fill a jar and add 80 to 100 proof alcohol, vodka, your choice. And then sit in the dark cabinet for a good month, and that will be your tincture. And the tincture will be full of beneficial medicinal properties. It's so good for you right now. You can take a teaspoon of the tincture right before you eat a meal, and dandelion root will actually help with heartburn or acid reflux. So after your meal, it'll settle easier. Full of vitamin A. I mean, this is just super good for you. You could also dry them out and powder it. I've heard that you can make coffee with dandelion root, which I've not done. But sometimes I dry them out and powder it, or you can just do small pieces and then just do a tea. Add it to your green tea, and that's really good for you too. But I kind of like it when it's fresh, and that's why I want to make a tincture, because I think that it would just. Sometimes I get acid reflux after I eat, so I'm going to give that a try. But there you go, just a little tip for the day. Say good morning. Good morning, Minnow. There's the bunny. She's out here getting some fresh air, waiting on dandelion leaves. I got all the roots rinsed off, and they're in the drain now. They're going to dry a little bit. Look at all that. Good stuff right there. I'm digging up some more dandelion root, and I guess the best thing about this is you get a lot of it out of your yard, right? But it's excellent this time of the year. The greens are a little small, but you can still eat them. I add them to my salads. Let's see if I can do this. But you can see, look how beautiful that is. Beautiful little dirty root. Take that out like that. And there's your dandelion root. They are a smaller plant here. There's just so many in this area that they just didn't grow very big, but that are still beneficial. Just remember though that when dandelion is excellent liver purifier, and if you are on water pills, I would not drink dandelion tea or dandelion root tea. Because it is a diuretic also. It just helps clean out the liver, and if you are on water pills, you're going to be just FYI. Do your research, ask your doctor. But there's a few there, and the greens look really good. I'll probably add it to my salad today. Okay, I'm going to rinse these off. You know, if you're going to drink dandelion tea several times a day and you're on water pills, I would not recommend it. The tincture that I'm going to make, I just plan on, me personally, taking a teaspoon of it before I eat supper. So about once a day, because that seems like when I have the most problem with acid reflux is in the evening. A tincture is a very strong amount of the herb, so you do not want to take, you know, a lot of that in one day. A teaspoon is plenty. This is all from my personal experience. So just make sure you do your research and maybe talk to your doctor and see what works best for you. Just remember that, you know, wild herbs and wild edibles, you know, they're out there for a reason. They are, you know, for us to eat and drink and enjoy and to survive. And they are full of medicinal properties that are good for you. So don't ever not be afraid, you know. Don't be afraid to eat your weeds and eat dandelions, and just make sure that you're healthy and you talk to your doctor first about all that, just to be on the safe side, you know. So there's that, and I'll let that dry a little bit and add it to my pile. Okay, so here is my little jar that I have of my dandelion root. These are for tea only, and they're chopped kind of big. I do not have it as a powder, but I like to write on my jars, you know, what the herb is good for, because I have family, and they, you know, if they need something, they can just look on there and be like, oh, okay, that's what I could use today. Dandelion root is a detoxifying to the liver, which I mentioned that. Great for digestion and high in antioxidants. So it is very good for you. I hope you get out in your yard today and maybe dig up some dandelion, and, you know, if you've never tried it, give it a try. All right, so some of my roots are dry, and I'm going to go ahead and chop these up and add them to a little jar here. Fill the jar up, and then I'm going to experiment today. I actually bought, I have this on hand. I have some Midnight Moonshine apple pie flavor. Okay, it sounds weird. Ooh, adding dandelion to apple pie flavored moonshine. But I'm going to give it a try. It's 70% proof and, you know, 35% alcohol. 70 proof, sorry. But anyway, I'm going to fill that little jar up with some dandelion. I'm going to pour some of this apple pie moonshine over it, and that's going to be my tincture. You know, I don't think it's going to affect the flavor too much. Dandelion is pretty subtle. Yes, it's bitter, but I think the apple pie will, you know, sweeten it up a bit. I remember as a kid, I don't know if you've done this, but, you know, you take the dandelion flower off and you notice that little milky stuff in there, and you're like, ew, it's so bitter. But, you know, the bitters are excellent for your gut. That's why it's a good gut plant. Bitters are very good for your digestion. So I did leave some greens on here because, you know, a lot of that milky is in there. You won't see much of it in the root. Sorry, my phone is not very, yeah, there's not much there, but, you know, if you squeeze some of this, I know I've seen some, you know, some of that milky stuff will come out. But anyway, so there you go. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you. Okay, so I chopped it up about that fine. You know, it's just little chunks. Little chunks. As long as you break it up, it'll get the nutrients flowing and all that good stuff. So you just fill up your little jar here. Looks like I'm going to need to cut some more. Chop, chop, chop. It's actually kind of windy here today in Kansas. 70s today, and then it's going to drop to 50 tomorrow. That's how we roll here. It's like, get out your shorts today and get out your jackets tomorrow. Yeah. Anyway, there's that. I have that filled up. This is a half pint. And just fill it up to the top. Look at all that good stuff for you right there. Here's my moonshine. You can use vodka. I'm experimenting with this because it's 70 proof. They recommend for tinctures 80 to 100. And because it's what I had on hand, I didn't want to run to town. I'm about 20 minutes from town, which is probably not too bad, but I'm home. I wanted to stay home. I'm going to give this a try and see how this works, how this does, because it just lasts longer in the jar. If you have a higher proof alcohol, it prevents mold. But we'll give it a try. So there you go. You want to just fill it up, quarter inch or so, half inch from the top, and put a lid on it, and then store it for a good month, and it'll be ready to use. You can strain it, or if you want to keep the pieces, you can add those to, a pot of tea or something. Hey, here we go. I have my roots in the apple pie moonshine. So this will be an interesting combination. Just keep in mind that tinctures are a concentrated herbal extract. So you can use vinegar also, but depends on, your taste for vinegar. I use the alcohol instead. But alcohol or vinegar, they pull out the active ingredients in the plant parts to concentrate them, as a liquid. So a tincture you do not want to take too much of. And you probably don't want to give this to your children if they're, maybe under 12. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. My kids are teenagers, and once in a while they'll try something if they're needing it. For some health issue at that moment. But this is mostly for me, being that it is moonshine. And I will take about, a teaspoon right before I eat supper and see how that helps my acid reflux. I eat pretty healthy. I think, it's just when I eat too much fatty foods, or I don't know, greasy foods, which we don't eat a whole lot of. But if I'm going to fry something, and I'm thinking, oh crap, I probably should take some of my dandelion root tincture to see, how that'll help. So anyway, and then hey, maybe I'll drink some of my moonshine too. So thank you for stopping by today. Have a good one.